Welcome to the Linguistics Show, where we talk about life, love, and everything else. There's always something to talk about with this couple, so you never know what may come out of their mouth.
Talking about some let it flow and let it go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Linguistics Show.
I'm Karal.
I was going to introduce you first, ma'am.
Okay.
With me today is my lovely wife, Karal, partner of the Linguistics Show podcast, mother of my children, smart as a motherfucker little, and a very useful resource for this segment right now. If you don't recognize my voice by now, then I guess you haven't been listening for the last year plus, but you here with Jason and Karal, and this is part, I don't know if you want to call this part 2 or part 1.5. Maybe you call it part 1, but the second part
1.
The second episode of a 6-episode series on the 5 love languages. And if that wasn't enough numbers to confuse you yet this morning, just wait, because we have percentages too. And so if you remember from our episode last week, we started talking about the 5 love languages. 5 love languages, yes, there's 5. I'm not sure why there's 5, but there's 5. There's not 7, there's not 20, there's not whatever one that you think it is. This is, I don't know why there's 5. I mean, I thought that there was individual, it could be whatever love language you wanted. But we learned that last week, that there's 5 specific love languages. And this is derived from years and years of psychological scientific research by Dr. Gary Chapman. Is a well thought of relationship guru, and he's written a number of New York Times best-selling books on the subject about the 5 love languages of your relationship, the 5 love languages of your friendships. He has it set up for like family issues. He has books on kids, like how do you communicate the love languages to kids? How do they learn love languages so that they can be more compassionate and better people as they grow? Lots of information here. So when people talk about love, oh, my love languages is making sandwiches. No, it's not, my dude.
That would be acts of service.
Exactly. Or my love language is, getting freaking nasty.
That would be physical touch.
Exactly. So all of these things that we love to sit and say is my love language because you love one specific thing, that might just be one specific thing that you really like, that you just wish, want, or think about coming from your partner, significant other, what have you. But the actual real love languages are what? There's 5 of them. Karal just brought up 2 of them. Let's review.
Yep. So they are acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, receiving gifts, and physical touch.
Right. And you ain't had to put all that extra on physical touch. That sounded real physical.
I'm going to physically touch you right now.
Oh my goodness. Wait till we get the video of this thing.
Ooh,
anyway, so today's episode, we are going to start on the first of the 5 love languages. Well, I don't know if it's first, last, second, third, fourth, but it's the first one we're talking about. And you can listen to this in any order. If you remember the episode last week, myself and Karal took Dr. Chapman's test. We thought we knew what our love languages were. We thought we knew what love languages were and what our love languages were, specifically, to clarify that last statement. And lo and behold, Karal was kind of right. I was kind of right, but we both didn't really know our percentages until we actually took the test. And so Dr. Chapman has basically one of those personality tests on his website, which is 5lovelanguages.com.
And it's free, y'all.
And it's free, y'all.
It takes a few minutes, so don't be like, oh, I gotta pay, I'm not gonna do it. No, don't find an excuse. Just take a few minutes. You can do it on your phone, your computer, and it will be really helpful. It's not always about doing things that are expensive and a grand gesture, because like while those are cool, doing things are small to the person doing it are actually big to someone who really values acts of service. So we talked about last week doing things like laundry or vacuuming. So those are regular household things that have to be done. But like when I'm tired or just really, really busy, when you have done those things for me, that means so much more than you would ever know. So I had to also learn to give you back your one of your love languages, which was the words of information. So us talking about it last week, I'm happy to see that even though you're doing these things for me, like dishes or folding the clothes or doing errands at the store, I need to also do better at giving you that verbal things.
Well, I appreciate that, and that is high on my list of the 5 love languages. But
it's number 2 on your list.
It's number 2 because it's high on the list.
Fine.
So if you wanted to know what we were talking about with percentages and numbers on the list, basically Dr. Chapman's test, when you're done, breaks down the 5 love languages and shows you a percentage of what the percentage of which love language most closely matches your style. So as Carol had mentioned earlier, 37% of hers, so 37% out of 100, 37% out of 100, more than a third out of 100 was acts of service. So again, as I've known for a long time, wifey like when I do shit for her. Like she like when I do all this other stuff around the house and do a lot of different things, run errands. It shows that I care, that I'm doing things for her. I learned this really early on in our relationship when, for example, if anybody has known us for as long as y'all have known us, y'all know that we've known each other
23 years.
23 years.
That is more than half of our lives.
Right. Well, yeah. And so I had to think about it for a second. I was like, yeah, that's more than half my life. And so, during that time frame, we've had 2 blizzards, we've had multiple snowstorms, we've had all of these things.
Had a blizzard during me being 9 months pregnant.
And so one of the things that I learned early on in my life, even though my wife was 9 months pregnant and had no business going anywhere in a blizzard 9 months pregnant, she raised all hell because I didn't clean the sno off of her car that she wasn't going to drive. She wasn't going to drive this car. She had no reason to go anywhere.
I didn't have to go to Target.
You didn't have to go to Target. You wanted to go to Target. 9 months pregnant in a blizzard.
And the reason, the actual blizzard had stopped, but the snow was still piling up. And so I remember living in our old townhouse on Addison Road, District Heights / Capitol Heights, that the actual neighborhood streets had been plowed finally. And so I was thinking,
it was like a week and a half after the snowstorm.
I don't know how long it was.
They finally plowed, yeah.
And so I was happy and relieved, even though I was big pregnant, and you're right. So I had no reason being a Target besides me wanting to get out the house, because I was like, yep, the parking lot is plowed. People are going out doing stuff. I want to be out doing something too. And so I went out there with my 9-month pregnant big belly self and was cleaning off my car. People were probably looking at me like, what is wrong with her? Why is she out here? Number one, it was snow. With this big belly, you can't even reach stuff.
Can't even reach the snow on your car. And so I learned at that early stage in our relationship that, when I got home from work, remember, I was at work. This wasn't like, Jason got up and left the house and was bullshitting all day because my pregnant wife was in the house. No, I got up and went to work, came home from work and saw the snow cleaned off the car, and I'm like, what the fuck? You're 9 months pregnant. There's ice and snow everywhere.
I ain't care.
Get your ass in the house and be careful with the baby, please. And so I learned early on, and she was big mad at me.
Yes.
And the thing that's funny about that is that, logically speaking, and everyone who knows me knows that I live in the land of logic.
That is true. Yes, you do. I live in the land of emotions and logic sometimes.
No, I live in the land of logic. Shit gotta make sense to me. And it made no sense to me for her to even need to drive anywhere. So that's why we never dug her car out. Me and my boys on the block, we never dug her car out because we thought, she's not fucking going anywhere. And if she needs something, one of us in the neighborhood, like our neighbors or our other neighbors or my homeboy's mom, one of us will go get it for you because we all knew you were big pregnant.
I was not going to ask our neighbors to the left, the right, across the street. Let me not even use all their names, but I did not want to ask any of those 4 households for any help because I was not handicapped. I was big pregnant, but
I'm talking about couldn't even make it up and down the stairs. I had to like help her push her up the stairs sometimes. Like it was, this was a hard pregnancy on her. This was a really hard one.
Yes.
But anyway, the point is that I learned early on that even when it didn't make sense, even though she didn't really need it, Karal appreciates me doing things for her, even when she doesn't need it. And so now, going forward from that episode, I clean off the snow off of her car before I clean off mine, even when I need to go somewhere.
Yes, you do. And I appreciate
even
that
when
so much.
Even when I need to go somewhere and I'm gonna be late, I clean the snow off of Karal's car before I even clean the snow off of my car. Even if I know she's not going anywhere,
that way it's done.
I still clean the snow off of her car first. And I mean, like, that's the type of thing, again, guys, and I'm saying this to the guys because we're the ones who tend to be a little behind the 8 ball on this one. We tend to find out a little bit later what's really going on. We think if we just lay it down in the bedroom and pay bills, that's all we need to do in life. And it's not like that, guys. I'm here to tell y'all, like, the women online might tell you that that's what it is, but when you really get with someone and you actually figure out what their love languages are, you realize that that's not what it is. And I mean, in the beginning of our relationship, that's all I did was try to lay the pipe and go to work and bring money home, and that was it.
There's more to life than that, though.
And so and that's what I had to grow up and be mature and learn about relationships to actually understand. And so, again, talking about acts of service, it's not just cleaning snow off the car. It's not just going and running errands around the house. It's one thing that Karal pointed out last week that I thought was really, really poignant and very important. It's not just doing things for the person, because someone could ask you, hey, could you go do this? That's technically an act of service. It's more about anticipating your partner's needs and doing it ahead of time.
And the bell's over there, so I can't reach the bell right now.
So it's all about anticipating your partner's needs. I mean, you know this person, you've been with them for a while, you should already know. Like, I already know what my wife's needs are, and so like I anticipate what her needs are and I get them shits done. Like, I already know that she doesn't want to go around the grocery store or around Walmart ever. She doesn't like those places. She'll go to Target.
Okay, because I was thinking, I do like going to stores, but like I said,
not those two stores.
I do like only one giant, and it's the one that is about 5 minutes from our house, not the one.
You talking about the Waldorf Giant,
yes.
not the La Plata Giant. I don't like the La Plata Giant. I don't like the Route 228 way out there Giant. We definitely not messing with Food Lion. None of them.
It's like last resort.
And even though we got an Aldi and a Lidl in our neighborhood, I guess we're bougie. We're yet to convert.
I do go there if I'm getting like a few different things and I'm already like right in the area, but I don't like certain stores. So back to what you were saying in terms of like knowing what your partner
wants and needs. So like for example, it's not about, oh, my partner likes caramel apple spices, so I go buy one from Starbucks. Guess what? That's not acts of service. That's what?
That's receiving gifts, which I do appreciate, but sometimes I don't even always think about, oh, I want him to go buy me some Starbucks while he's out getting whatever. And
so that whole thing, and this is a thing, guys, and guys know this, we are not allowed to go buy food for ourselves without bringing her food home. That's a thing. If y'all didn't know that was a thing, go ahead, try it. Go ahead right now, today. Go ahead, get you some Chick-fil-A. I had to lean all the way in the microphone for this one to make sure y'all go ahead, get you some Chick-fil-A today, and don't bring her none home. And just in case
with some Polynesian sauce.
Bro, go ahead, get you some Chick-fil-A today, and don't bring your partner none home. And then after that happens, just give me a call because I have a guest bedroom ready.
I'm right in the basement.
So you can stay here in the basement after you don't bring your girl Chick-fil-A. But again, that's not an act of service. That's what? Receiving and giving gifts. That's a different love language. And we'll talk about that one in a couple weeks, because both me and Karal have matured enough to understand that the concept of gift giving as a love language is actually kind of weird. It's kind of it's kind of superficial and kind of weird. But we'll get into that anyway. It's just that acts of service and gift giving get misconstrued a lot. And so the real difference that you need to understand is that it's not about buying something for someone or even giving something to someone unless it's giving your time. It's about doing something for someone. So remember, I was saying that I go to the grocery store, go to Walmart for her. It's not about going to the grocery store and going to Walmart to buy her something she wants. It's about going to the grocery store and going to Walmart to buy all the shit that we need for our household so that she don't have to. You feel me? That's the act of service, is me being the person to go up and down these aisles and get frustrated because there's not enough French fries and there's no bread and there's this and there's that. That's what it's about. It's about going to Walmart and have to stand in that 45-minute self-checkout line because
it do be long sometimes.
Oh my God!
Depending on time of day.
But that's the act of service. The act of service isn't going to Walmart and buying the thing. The act of service is doing the errand so that your partner doesn't have to.
And that way, I can focus on other things around the house. Yeah, and so I don't mind going to those stores, but I know, and so do you, that when I do go to any of those stores, I end up taking way too long. So I've
actually had to call them people and send a search party into Target for her one time before.
Don't exaggerate about
She'll be in Target. It's Target, and I know that Target has personally.
They have such bright lights, and they're welcoming, and everyone who works there has on a red shirt, shade of red.
You people in Minnesota need to stop with this Target thing. Y'all have specifically targeted, ding, 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 targeted my wife with y'all marketing materials, and now she can't stop going to Target. And then y'all made it worse by putting a Starbucks in the Target.
Yeah.
Why would y'all do this? And then put a Pizza Hut in the Target. So y'all giving her literally everything she wants in one place. You're giving her overpriced, bougie products. You're giving her these little personal pan pizzas and the pasta bowls. Remember that? You used to get the little pasta bowls. And y'all giving her Starbucks. Come on, y'all. Y'all killing me. I want my wife back. Target, come on. Anyway, the point is that with your acts of service, it's about doing something for someone. It's also, again, like I had mentioned before, about knowing what needs to be done, anticipating the needs. It's like if you're in a relationship with somebody, are you going to sit there and let the dishes pile up, or are you just going to knock them out? Are you going to sit there and let the laundry pile up, or are you going to just go ahead and knock it out? A lot of times, even though we've talked about on this platform many times that we don't personally believe in gender roles, we don't.
No, we don't.
We don't believe in gender roles. Like, I cook, I clean, I do dishes. Carol don't fix the car, but Carol does help me with some of the household stuff, like building things around the house and fixing things.
I do like to be handy.
But you're not going outside and doing. But the point is that we don't really believe in gender roles per se. So the man can do dishes, the man can cook, the man can do laundry. I can
do yard work to a certain extent because I will rake the leaves. I would not do actually cutting the grass anymore. That was a one-time thing at the old house, and it was the whole hill gave me issues. So I was like, even though our yard now is totally flat, I have no interest in cutting the grass. But I will bag up leaves. I will trim hedges. Something I do, I guess, quote unquote, man things around the house and outside.
So, and I've seen Carol get her hands dirty with some paint and a hammer and nails and stuff like that too, but she definitely will not use a power drill. But that's another story for another episode.
I messed up so bad in our bathroom at the old house that even though I never had an issue with using a drill, I was so frustrated with how that towel rack would fall down, and I just was so mad. I was like, forget it. I'm not going to use a drill anymore. So I'm not afraid of it, but I'm just so traumatized from me doing that daggone towel rack over and over again at the old house. I'm done with power tools.
And so the act of service in that instance was that I took it apart and fixed it. When you notice something that bothers your partner, volunteer to fix it. That doesn't necessarily equate to actually building and breaking, fixing things. So it's like sometimes it's about the act of service is noticing what's going on in your partner's world and taking the time to do something.
Yeah, and so when y'all notice, and I'll say y'all as in, it could be anyway, because there are going to be men whose main love language is also going to be with acts of service. So women, when you see that your partner is maybe busy doing other things, step up and then help him out too. So it's a two-way street. This is not all about men doing one thing and the women not. But I also want to go back to to your results. So looking at the screen, your act of service was actually the lowest. Yours was at 10%.
10% out of 100. So 1 out of 10 times do I want somebody to go do something for me.
So like, why do you think that yours was so low?
I actually sat and thought about this since the last episode when we were joking about it. Like, I don't need nobody to do nothing for me. I handle it myself. And it's really one of those things that I don't know that I don't want people to spend time to do stuff for me. Sure, that makes me feel good. But I think that I think it has a lot to do with the way I was raised, and that being the oldest child and coming, being an 80s baby, and then also being, the child of someone who essentially worked with his hands his whole life. My grandfather, the same way. Military people in my family. It's just, we come from a, you got to go get that stuff done.
Yeah, you are very
family.
Independent. Go get it. Charge. Not charge, but
charge. Charge.
Okay, let me phrase that.
That's where you go insert the sound effect.
You are a very take charge kind of man, and there's a term for that. You're a go getter, like you're a doer. There's some kind of phrase, but I don't know what it is. It was hyphenated. Anyhow, let me just stop trying to figure out what it is. But like with you, with yours being so low for acts of service, like you and I both know that the way that we're raised will have an impact on how we are as adults. And so like you were saying, like for you, like with your dad and grandfather, they used their hands a lot. Like they did their own thing. So even though they had their main jobs as working for the government, and then they're working as a teacher, they also like doing things on their own. And so I think that you're right, that how you were raised, at Jason Bush affects you not really wanting people to do things for you because it makes you feel a certain kind of way.
Yeah, it kind of does. It makes me feel like if I can't fix something myself or I can't do something myself, it does make me feel like I'm a failure or that I'm less than because I didn't get this shit done. And that actually is a psychological thing that a lot of guys got to push through. We can't be scared to ask for help, fellas. Like, it's okay to not be okay. I mean, that's a conversation for another episode as well. It's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to ask for help, guys. But I feel like that probably is really the answer, is just like the way my childhood went, having to kind of mature at an early age and grow up a little bit earlier than most kids, and having a lot of responsibility meant that I was just used to having a lot of responsibility. And so generally speaking, yeah, like I'd love it if somebody, did my laundry or something like that. But to be fair, I like doing laundry. Like I guess part of the other reason why, and then this is something that I thought about as well as it pertains to my lines of business, is that part of the reason why I don't, like, my acts of service might be so low is that I actually like doing things. I'm one of those people, like, I like doing things with my hands. I like to stay busy and stay active. And I don't care if it's folding clothes, doing dishes, cooking, cleaning, building a car, whatever the case may be. I just like doing things. I like staying busy, and I definitely like working with my hands. And so that might have a lot more to do with it as well. It's just my natural personality is as such that I want to go do it. I don't mind doing it. And so that's probably why my thought process on somebody doing it for me isn't that high. I don't mean I don't like that sort of stuff. Yeah, sure, great. Yeah, man. Knock it out for me. That's wonderful. But I'm definitely...
You're not a zero in the area.
Yeah, I'm not a zero, but I'm definitely one of those type of people that if it boiled down to it, I would kind of just go ahead and knock it out myself. So, the only thing with that is like, there's a flip side to this, and it's not just about learning love languages to understand how you need to be loved. It's about learning love languages to understand how your partner wants to be loved. And so it's also about how to give that. So it's kind of a three-part thing. So we've been talking about a lot about how we receive love as it pertains to love languages. But one of the more important things, especially as it pertains to acts of service, is you have to learn this. If your partner is this, you really have to learn how to anticipate their needs. It's not just about, oh, I guess when she wakes up in the morning she gonna want coffee. It's like, no, like really
Like
really
deep thought.
anticipate the needs. It's not just the mundane day-to-day stuff is important, but it's not just those things. It's about remembering that your significant other has clothes in the cleaners and you go pick them up for her.
Yeah, for like remembering that I have to work late, and so you need to go and then get the kids from their various activities. So it is about just knowing what your partner is going to want. If you don't show growth as a man or woman, there is no possible way that y'all can have a healthy relationship. So like y'all could be together for years, but y'all could be unhappy and miserable. And so like for us, we wanted to actually grow as a couple. Like we didn't want to be arguing about like how we receive and give love, because we could have been married forever but just not happy. So like we made a conscious choice to really try to figure out how we can show each other love in a way that we want to receive it, opposed to how we want to give it. Now I was really guilty of that for I don't know how many years, but it was more than 5, I'll say, of me not trying because of what I was doing, of me showing you love in the way that I want to be loved. And so like that took you actually telling me over and over again until I finally got it that like those things are not what you want and need. And I was hurt because I'm thinking I really am expressing my gratitude to you, my love for you, but you're not receiving it. When I took time to really take a look at what I was getting from work, I then had like a light bulb. So like you were telling me these things, but I wasn't receiving what you were saying because I was in this block of, I work in this kind of field at work. I work in a field called therapy.
I know better than you.
Yes, because I had all these books and tools and quizzes and stuff, but it really took you telling me directly more than once, more than twice, what works for you.
Right, because
again, I finally got it, y'all.
Because like Young, I'm a doer. I'm a hard worker. I don't necessarily need you to go run an errand for me. I
was trying to be helpful.
No, I mean I get it. I get that, but that's what I'm saying is that like I don't necessarily value that. Like, okay, thanks. You saved me 15 minutes out of my day, but like, okay, thank you. That's how I would look at that. I wouldn't think of it like, oh my God, I can't believe that you remembered this thing. And I would be
like, he is so unappreciative. I'm doing this extra stuff I don't have to do because I'm doing because I love you, but I have grown. Why am I hitting my day?
Right, but that's again why this whole exercise is important and why we recommend everyone doing that is because we wasted years of Karal running errands for me that I didn't want or need, that I'm perfectly capable of doing, and me buying her heels and designer bags and jewelry and shit, and she doesn't appreciate gifts. She wanted me to go do things for her.
I appreciate gifts, but that was not my top thing, and so I do appreciate like what you were doing.
You gotta walk that back because she still likes purses and heels.
Yeah, because I'm like,
we gotta walk that back.
Yeah, I'm like, let's clarify for the audience. I do like those things, but that was not my top way of you showing that you love me, because I'm like, I like it and I'm going to use it, I'm going to wear them and carry them, but that wasn't my number 1 or my number 2 or my number 3.
Oh yes, I remember it was all the way at the bottom next to physical touch.
Because physical touch was only 3%. And you've been joking with me all since last week about...
Oh yeah, come on, 3%er. She's a 3%er.
Physical touch.
3%er. If you break down your week into 100%, that means I only got to spend about 8 minutes giving her physical touch this week, and I'm good for the whole week. That's insane. Of course not going to give her 8 minutes. It's going to be 12. But the point is...
No, it's going to be more than that.
But the point is like, yes.
That wasn't as important.
Take these percentages with a grain of salt, because of course Karal likes more than 3% of her life to be physical touch. And the reason we all know this, if anybody knows her, is that Carol's a hugger. So
yes, I'm so affectionate. I'm like, oh, come on, give me a hug.
Carol's a hugger. So it's hilarious that Carol's a hugger, but physical touch is 3% of her love languages.
Like, okay, this just occurred to me just now. Okay, so I like to give.
But don't touch me. But don't touch me. I'm gonna hug you, but don't touch me. And that reminds me of our youngest daughter, because she loves getting hugs and stuff like that, but she does not give them. Her hugs, she just puts her hands out and is just like, "Yo, hug me." Yes. Oh, give me a hug, Ashley. Okay, I'm gonna stand here like a zombie. I'm gonna stand here like Frankenstein, like a mummy, like a zombie, and just let you hug me. That's how she gives hugs. Because I'm so cute that you benefit from hugging me. That's Ashley's vibe.
Yes. What we need to actually do is for the kids.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Because for Leah, it's been really affectionate with me these last several months. And I'm thinking, number one, you never showed affection when you were a kid, little girl. And so I'm not used to her showing affection. And so when she does, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like, you're hugging me so tight and you're doing all these things. I'm like,
again, Carol doesn't like to be touched. She likes to touch people. Wait a minute, that sounds pedophile. That sounds creepy. That sounds creepy. Let's take that back. It's not that funny, though. It's not that she likes to be touched and likes to touch people and doesn't like to be touched. That is so creepy.
I like more to give affection and physical touch than to receive it. Now, in a sexual way, that's different, but I'm talking about non-sexual ways right now, because
we're not going to get too deeply into the physical touch love language, because that one I feel like is going to be an hour and a half long
we gotta save that one
because
later.
That one, for real, there's so many nuances to it that I feel like it's important for us to really dig deep into physical touch, because it's not just about sex, y'all. Anyway, back to the acts of service.
Oh yeah, because we're all on acts of service today.
Lord, the tangents. So again, the point that I'm trying to make with this whole episode in particular is that it is of the utmost importance early on in your relationship to learn these things. I feel like, especially for y'all who might just be fresh into a relationship, or maybe y'all been dating for a little while and you're gonna start taking it a little bit more seriously, whatever, take this test. I encourage you to do that. Or maybe if you single and you just out here having fun, it's important to take this kind of test so that you know what you actually want. Because you might think you know what you want. I may think that I want a new pair of Jordans and a BJ every week, but if I look at my percentage, no, I want quality time. I want somebody to just hang out with me. Like, that's crazy, right? Like, and that's what taking this test is for. And the more I looked at the results and read the descriptions of everything, I was like, yo, this really effing makes sense. Because I used to get so mad about not having quality time. And so, like, yo, that's why this is important. So really pay attention to your partner's needs and wants. Pay attention to their patterns. Maybe if you know, because your significant other has to get up super early in the morning because they got to ride that first train into the city, or what have you.
Branch Avenue at 5 in the morning.
So what did I used to do for her? I would make sure that I would, if she had food that she wanted to save, I would put it in the containers for her so it'd be ready to go. I will auto start her car so it would be warm.
Oh yes, you do that, and I appreciate that, because I'm like, oh, he gave me snacks and gave me some lunch.
I would auto start the car so it would be warm on the really cold days. I would do that. I would scrape off her windshield clearly before I would leave.
Get that seat turned on.
And so, like, that sort of thing is the type of thing you do when you're paying attention to your partner's needs. And that's really what the acts of service are. It's like, no, I don't need you to go rebuild my transmission, Carol. But what I would like you to do is make me a sandwich. That's an act of service. So again, it's really important that you study your partner. I know I've said that many times, but study your partner, study their movements or whatever, so that you can figure out.
Study them in a loving, caring way, not like a creepy, I'm going to be abusive and I'm going to stalk you and I'm going to, that's not what we're
all in their phone.
That's not what we're trying to do.
Don't put an air tag on their car so you can watch their movements. That's not what I was referring to.
We're doing it in a loving way.
I'm saying just pay attention. Just pay attention. I know it sounds cliche and basic, but it is really that simple. Pay attention.
Because for acts of service, y'all, actions speak louder than words, and that is an old phrase, but it's
the phrase that pays in this scenario.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Like, it's literally actions speak louder than words. It's not about saying you love them. It's not about buying them
show me the love.
Right. It's not about buying them something to say I love you. It's not about making them feel good to say I love you. It's about actually showing you that because I'm taking my time and sacrificing my time and effort to do something specific for you. And so again, that's where the acts of service come in. If you have any examples of acts of service, or maybe you're questioning, is this an act of service? Was this a gift? Was this an affirmation? Like something like that? Give us a call, or not give us a call. We're not on the radio. Send us an email or inbox us or something like that. Like, holler at us and let us know, and maybe we can help you clear it up. But I definitely think that Dr. Chapman's website is a great resource for all young couples, families, what have you. I definitely recommend y'all get on this website and check it out. It's the number 5 lovelanguages.com. I definitely encourage y'all to get on here, take the test, and so that you know for yourself. And then also, man, they have it set up for kids. They have it for relationships, for friendships. Especially, we are going to get into these friend groups that these adults be having on another episode. Yeah. Because, if anybody knows us, I've had the same. If anybody knows us, I've had the same friend group going on 15 years. You change friend groups every 6 months.
No, I have the same core friends from my old
organization remodeling for everyone.
Oh,
not core.
Look at that.
Not core.
Not
that core.
That was not planned.
Not that core. My core is creative organization and remodeling for everyone.
Dang, I love that. See, look at us all. I'm the same vibe. We didn't even know it. But yeah, so we can save the whole friend group thing for another episode. Because
yes, I definitely think that's
maturity.
Something. I think that's something to touch on, maturity and understanding that, as you get into your 30s and 40s, you're gonna outgrow some of your peoples.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Don't feel guilty. I felt guilty for a long time, but starting this past fall, I have no guilt. If we don't talk, oh well.
So we will. That is something that we're going to touch on in another episode, because I do think that's an important topic for young adults to go into.
But before we wrap this joint up, baby, I'm getting hyped. I'm your hype woman. It's time for wordplay.
Did y'all hear that drum roll just now?
Yes,
that's how you know it's serious.
Arm going.
She literally started rolling her R's, man. I've been trying to get this woman to roll her R's since I first met her. No, that don't sound right. I'm talking about when you're trying to say something cultural. But yes, I can dig it though. I can dig it. Go ahead, roll the R's on your W word for some strange reason, and we'll jump into
because the word has an R.
But you didn't, young.
Play.
No, young.
Okay.
You're still rolling a W and enunciating an R, ma'am. Yes, the word has an R, but that's not an excuse to go at the beginning of the word.
What is
Slim.
your letter, sir?
Cultural appropriation.
No, what?
That's my letter. Cultural appropriation. All right, fine. My letter C.
What's your letter?
C.
Okay, fine.
C for cultural appropriation. Don't be just rolling R's in the middle of a sentence, making fun of Latin culture.
I'm not making fun of anyone because, I'm not.
I know you're not making fun of anyone. I just love to give her a hard time sometimes.
Okay, my eyes are closed, so what I'm doing is, how about you just say what wordplay is? Because my eyes literally are closed.
What? You can't say what wordplay is because your eyes are closed. So here's my act of service today. I'm going to explain the game for my wife. I'm going to explain the game. So we're going to pick a letter. Contestant 1 picks a letter. Contestant 2 goes and finds a word of that letter. Then she says it out loud, and contestant 1 now has to define and use said word in a sentence. There's supposed to be a time limit involved, but we've never ever stuck to that, so I don't feel like we're gonna do it today either, even though the threat of a time limit is sitting there.
Okay, so I actually need the light on, but I can squint into the dictionary. If that's better, thank you. So, Jason, your word is clement.
Clement?
Clement.
Clamont?
I'm pronouncing it different ways, but you're gonna have to sound it out.
Claymont? So
No,
can
not-
you spell it?
Can I spell it for the wordplay? Do we spell
Dog,
it?
like-
I forgot the rules. Okay. No, I can't spell it because you have to define.
Like, is that like how a ghetto person says climate?
No.
Hey, that climate out there today is something
I
else.
mean, it kind of does sound like that. Okay.
Climate.
I'll spell it for you. CLAMANT.
Clement? Clement. So I'm going to say that is waxing poetic long term about a specific subject matter. You're adding details to a subject matter like you lament on something, but
It does rhyme, but what's your
so clearly that's wrong.
No, but what's your sentence?
I don't even know what it means.
I'm going to define it for you.
Clement is a word in the dictionary that begins with C because Jason don't know what Clement means.
Okay, and I'm learning this word too.
So at least I got the sentence right.
So yeah, so it is actually pronounced. Can't see, got squint. It's pronounced.
Somebody want to donate us a big font dictionary for this woman
okay.
over here?
So I had the wrong pronunciation. Now that I'm looking at it, it's pronounced
It's Clement.
Claymont, which means clamorous or blatant. It also means demanding attention. Claymont. And so now I can use that as an adjective to describe other people.
I guarantee no one has used that word in speech, type, or writing in at least 100 years. Who says Clement for someone who's loud and boisterous? I'd just be like, you loud and boisterous.
It's about expanding our vocabulary.
Boisterous is a nice word.
Well, it said blatant. It didn't say boisterous.
Oh my gosh, help me, Jesus. Clement. So Clement is a adjective?
Yes.
Or is it an adverb? Like you are Clement. You're Clement in your actions today. You were boisterous in whatever. Like
It
that.
is
Weird. It's hecka weird.
adjective. Yeah.
That's hecka
Okay.
weird. All right.
So here
So it
you
looks
go.
like I'm losing today because that was a weird one. What's your letter?
My letter will be B.
Okay. Okay. Your word today is Badland.
Okay, I know what that means because I learned about that in history class.
Oh.
And it was also part of geography. So the Badlands, which not what you said. You said Badland.
Badland.
So I'm going to think that they're similar. I don't know what it means, but I know it's in the Midwest and has to deal with Native Americans in the Badlands and the mountains. And
Oh my gosh. Why would it have
What?
anything to do with Native Americans?
because that's what I learned in my.
Oh, Charles County
No.
Public Schools, man. Y'all is something else. Do y'all know? You know what? I'm not even gonna get into that.
Leave
That's for
my
another episode.
education alone.
That's for another episode. But I'm gonna just say it like this: geography is not high on Charles County Public Schools.
Yeah, come
educational
on now.
list. We're not gonna do this.
Okay, we'll have to just ask that to people in real life because like people can't respond to us in the like.
All right.
They can't have a
All right. Well,
conversation.
look in the comment section or in our inbox or whatever. Tell me how many countries exist in North America, and don't look it up. Anyway, your sentence for Badland because your definition was semi.
Okay,
Your
so I was on
definition.
track.
No, it didn't have nothing to do with Native Americans. It really don't even have nothing to do with the location. You were like, it's in the Midwest. It's like that's irrelevant. Badlands is more of a noun than it's not a proper noun. It's a noun. It's not a proper noun.
Right, but I understand that part because you said Badlands, like you didn't say the Badlands.
But it's one word. It's Badlands.
Right,
It's
right,
not
I know.
Badland.
I knew that part, Jason. I did learn that. And
Well, do you want me to read the definition?
yes, please do. I don't know what it is clearly.
This is a region marked by intricate erosional sculpturing, scanty vegetation, and fantastically formed hills. Essentially, the Badlands are a desert area where there's very little vegetation based on the fact that it's very dry,
Right.
and it's a rocky terrain. So it makes it so nothing can really grow there as well. So when you were saying in the Midwest, yes, in the United States, the Badlands,
Yes.
the Badlands would be like northern Texas, Oklahoma, that kind of area where it was really dry, rocky, kind of hard for vegetation
Exactly.
to
So I was
exist.
on point. Come on,
And
Charles,
ain't got
got
nothing to do.
education.
Ain't got nothing to do with Native Americans. First of all,
okay.
and second of all,
That
it ain't
was- that
got
was
nothing
on
to
me.
do with the location because Badlands. You're talking about the Badlands
Yes.
with a capital B.
Yes.
I'm talking about the word.
proper noun.
I'm talking about the word Badland.
Okay, we're actually getting
Way deeper into the Badlands than we need to be,
we're
huh?
getting too deep into
But
this whole
the point is
educational
the,
conversation.
The point is that Jason won.
What?
Yes, Jason won wordplay today. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So thank everyone for joining us for this great convo on acts of service.
Right.
And so you can follow us on Instagram at Linguistic Show. You can check out episodes on Anchor, Stitcher, and Spotify by searching The Linguistic Show. You can also check out more on the website, which is linguisticsshow.com. And we'll see and talk to y'all next week.
And so, yes, commit acts of service. Do things for people. Go out there and do something for your partner. If you enjoyed this, like, comment,
Subscribe and share to The Linguistic Show.
This has been an Ashangali Enterprises production.
Co-produced by Naomi. Music by Brassville.